Welcome to Red Dragon! Today, I'll be taking a look at the Abyssalcraft mod. Abyssalcraft is actually a very interesting, a very large, and a very well organized and textured mod. The problem is, a problem I hope to fix, is that there are not nearly enough reviews or information on what you're supposed to do in the mod. It kind of throws you into all this content without telling you where you're supposed to go first. To get anywhere in Abyssalcraft, you're going to want to make this book, the Necronomicon. This does have a lot of information. However, you'll notice that much of the information in the book is obscured and you cannot read it as of now. However, it will tell you some stuff, so it's a good thing to have on hand. The Necronomicon is also necessary to progress in Abyssalcraft after a bit, because it's the only way to hold PE, or potential energy, which is needed for rituals. There are many materials you're going to need, or at least going to want to keep an eye out for, in the mod of Abyssalcraft. The first among these is Abyssal Night Ore. This is a rare ore that only appears in Darklands biomes. There are many types of Darklands biomes. The most common is this one I'm currently in, the Darklands Plains, but there are a few others that I'll show you before the end of this video. In any of these dark biomes, if you mine under Y level 32, you should be able to find some Abyssal Night Ore. This is better than diamonds as a material, so it's definitely a good thing to use for tools. A good way to recognize a Darklands biome, if you have a bunch of other mods installed, is that once you enter it, the sky goes black. And the second you're out of it, the sky returns to normal. So that's kind of one way to know you're in a biome from Abyssalcraft, if you have too many other mods with add biomes in your game. Darklands biomes include the Darklands Plains I'm currently in, Coralium infested swamps, Darklands forests, Darkland forests, and Darkland mountains. In addition to being used as a material for tools, Abyssal Night is using a few other recipes for the mod, but you don't need to worry about those until much later. Darklands oak wood and dark stone are very common, especially in the Darklands biomes, so they aren't too much of a concern for amount. They also don't have too much use, though. The main thing, I guess, is decoration. Other than that, the wood works as any wood, and the cobble works as any cobble. There's nothing really too special. I will mention, if you make like a stone sword out of dark stone, for example, it will become a dark stone sword. It will function the same as a regular stone sword, but it will have a much darker hue. So, I guess it's cool just for the extra visual effect. One of the main materials you're going to want to keep an eye out for is Coralium ore. This is actually very difficult to find. It only spawns in swamps and in ocean biomes. This is not limited to Coralium infested swamps, which is a separate biome, but it is more common there than regular swamps. You're going to need a lot of Coralium ore to progress. Well, not too much, but you're going to need to find at least a few of them. This is a Coralium infested swamp. It's considered the best place to find Coralium ore, and you'll notice nearby we have a Darklands mountain biome, but we're not focusing on that for now. When it comes down to it, there's really nothing to be done except mine down and hope you get lucky. But as long as you're mining under a swamp, there we have some. Yeah, as long as you're mining under a swamp, it shouldn't be too hard to find a few of these. They aren't extremely rare. The main thing that makes them difficult to find is that they only appear under swamps and ocean biomes. If you look at that, less than 10 seconds later, I found another vein of them. This is definitely good, because you are going to need a decent amount of these. Before I move on to progression, I do want to cover two more resources. There is the Niter ore. What Niter ore does is it gives you Niter. This can be used to craft gunpowder. Besides, beyond this, it doesn't have too many uses. The last thing of note is this, liquid antimatter. It can be picked up in a bucket, which will give you a liquid antimatter bucket. Now, liquid antimatter can be found underneath Coralium infested swamps. So if I hop into spectator mode here, I can quickly show you that there should be some somewhere underneath here. Well, there it is. Found some antimatter. Now, do not step in this liquid. Just a horrible idea straight up, because it will kill you far faster than lava, as well as giving a slew of effects like blindness and nausea to make it difficult to escape. Due to how quickly it kills, liquid antimatter can be used as a weapon, but you should be careful when using it on hostile mobs. Let me show you why. If I get a skeleton, if you kill a mob that's just a skeleton in liquid antimatter, had to clear my own effects there, but you'll see that you get an anti-skeleton. This, in addition to having twice as much health as a regular skeleton, also does a bit more damage, and is immune to antimatter. So, not only are you in danger of spilling antimatter on yourself, as I just did, you also can sometimes create a more powerful enemy than the one you meant to kill. This is one of the mobs that spawns at night in Abyssalcraft biomes, and also sometimes in some other biomes, but not as often, called a Depth School. They aren't too tough to take down, but they don't really drop anything. The statue's already in my inventory. This is an abyssal zombie, a little bit tougher than regular zombies. They'll also spawn, but once they do, they'll kill any other nearby zombies and make them into full health abyssal zombies. So they kind of spread as a pack, and they'll fight you as a group too. If I go into survival real quick, from time to time are these Abyssalcraft cows. You'll notice that look like ordinary cows, but once you go into survival, they'll start attacking you and trying to kill you. They'll reveal that it's truly a demon version and will continue to attack. They'll turn to demon cows and continue attacking you until they're dead. For those of you who are watching this tutorial for the sole reason that you want to know how to get started in this mod, I can help you out with that. It took me a while to figure out how to get started the first time I played Abyssalcraft, because let me tell you, it does not give clear instructions. But what you're going to want to do to get started is you're going to want to find yourself a Shoggoth den. They look kind of like this, although they're not always covered up by the side of a mountain. This is just a unique generation that happened this one time. If it is, simply punch a hole and let the Shoggoths out onto open land. This might seem like a very bad idea, and in a way it is. Wearing out Shoggoths is extremely dangerous, and they have really powerful projectiles. So you're going to want to do is take a shield, basically run in there, try not to instantly die, then see if you can escape. If you do manage to get away, which I did not, the Shoggoths will then roam free around that area, and you can just leave them and come back later when the area is covered in ooze. You may have to let this spread quite a bit. And
it won't usually get quite this bad, but I was trying to expedite the process.
I was just trying to expedite. As the conditions are all met, more of these monolith stone pillars with statues on top should be spawning in. And you're going to want to take all these statues you can get, because one of them isn't going to be enough for long. You will reach a point where you can craft them, but until then, you're definitely going to need at least a few of them. So here you can see 2 already popped up, but as long as you have an area covered in ooze, and there's Shoggoths running around there, they'll keep spawning in.
Grab some of the monolith stone that makes up the pillars as well.
Now that you have some statues, you can really get started. What you're going to want to do is find a decently open area, and you're going to need to construct like an area for rituals. Now, the book shows you how to do this. If you go into rituals, information getting started, it will tell you the formation, and it's really simple. So all you have to do is place cobblestone as is indicated, and when you're done, simply shift right click the center with the Necronomicon. And there you now have a ritual altar with ritual pedestals. One of the first things you're going to need to make with your ritual altar is a transmutation gem, as it's used in a lot of crafting recipes. One of them can be used 10 times though, so you shouldn't have to do this too many times. Now what you're going to need is, for the outside, 2 diamonds, 2 ender pearls, and 4 blaze powder. Contrary to what you might think, the order actually does not matter. You can put them on the pedestals in any order. Now you'll notice you also need a Coralium pearl. This is a little harder to get, but hopefully you have some of that Coralium you've gotten from earlier. If you have Coralium gems from mining them before, you should craft 3 of them together. You'll get a Coralium gem cluster. Craft 3 of those together, and you'll get a cluster of 9 gems. This, you can surround in stone to get Coralium infused stone, And then when you mine that, you'll be guaranteed to get a Coralium infused pearl. If I try this ritual now, it simply doesn't work. Or, in fact, it's going to have a negative consequence because I started a ritual with incorrect materials. So if you wait, you can see lightning simply struck and all the materials on the outside were lost. This was because I didn't have any potential energy. You'll notice it says I have 0 here. If you look at the ritual recipe, it says I need 300. So now I'm going to replace these materials, and I'm going to show you how to charge your Necronomicon with potential energy. Charging your Necronomicon is what you need these statues for. So if you place these down and hold the book, they should shoot out beams. Damn, it's not working, is it? Oh, and it is working. So it just takes a while, but they will shoot out beams of energy that slowly charge your Necronomicon. This is a very slow process, which is why it's definitely recommended you have more than one statue. In fact, you could put them in your base, so that this book just gets charged just by holding it while you walk around your base. But they do have some negative effects that arise occasionally, so that could also be a bad idea sometimes. In addition, later in the mod, there are ways to make these faster, or to set up things so the book gets charged automatically without you having to wait by the statues. But for now, you simply have to place statues and allow time to pass. Statues also do not work on this if they're placed next to each other. So, you're going to have to separate them a bit. If you have a mod like Project E installed, you could use the Watch of Flowing Time to make these speed up immensely. I'm sure there are other mods that have similar effects. Now, when I start the ritual, it should work. And here we go. You notice the potential energy is draining out of my Necronomicon. And there. We now have a transmutation gem. I suppose I should let you know now. The end goal of all this work we're currently doing is to get this, a gateway key. Now the only way to get a gateway key is by crafting it with 2 blaze rods, which should be easy, Coralium pearls, which are a little bit harder, but you know how to get those, and an Oblivion catalyst, which is the difficult part. This requires a ritual with 5,000 potential energy, the maximum amount, an Eye of Ender, some redstone, and these things that you can't even recognize yet. But to craft them, you're going to need a transmutation gem, and 4 of these other things you can't recognize, which are actually shadow gems. To get shadow gems, you'll need shadow shards. Now, to get shadow shards, you're going to have to go to any of the darker biomes, and wait for it to become night in that biome. Now this is a shadow beast. It has 50 health and hits decently hard, so you're going to want to be prepared, but at this point you should have decent armor anyway, so it shouldn't be too difficult to kill a few of these guys. When you kill one of these, they'll drop these shadow gems I was talking about. This was a full-size one, so he drops full shadow gems. These can be used to make these Shards of Oblivion, as you can now recognize they are called, by using the transmutation gem. You can kill 8. So what you're going to need to do is kill about 4 to 6 shadow beasts. Or, as an alternative, you can kill the much smaller shadow monsters. These only drop shadow shards, and 9 of these will make a single shadow shards, which you need 9 of. Much less of a reward, but much easier to take down. It may take a while, but you should reach 16 shadow gems. Then, if you put in your transmutation gem, and you spread them out around it, you can craft your Shards of Oblivion. This will only use up 4 of your transmutation gem's 10 charges, because you're only crafting 4 items. So, you can save what's left of that for later. Then, place down 4 Shards of Oblivion, 4 redstone, an Eye of Ender in the center. Now, you have to wait for a while now, because your Necronomicon is going to need to be fully charged, but since I'm just showing you how this works, I just cheated myself a fully charged one to save us some time. Now, you're not going to want to do the ritual yet, though, so hold on a sec. Because if you look at your Necronomicon, you'll notice it says that a sacrifice is required. This means you need to get a live animal and bring it over, which is pretty dark, but I guess that's the whole point of this mod in a way. It's based on H.P. Lovecraft's novels, so don't really know what you expected. But yeah, for this reason, it's actually a decent idea to build an animal farm around your ritual area, just so you're never low on sacrifices. But right now, I'm just going to spawn in a pig. Now, if I can grab it with a lead, whoops, and bring it to the altar. I think it all needs to be within the circle, and you should be able to activate the ritual. There, the pig's been selected. Here's some demonic words, and it'll spawn in a bunch of shadow beasts. Okay, to be honest, I don't know why that happened, but it means that there was something wrong with my ritual, even if I don't know exactly what. It should have been successful, as I believe I had everything set up correctly, but I must have made some small mistake, and in this mod, especially with more dangerous rituals, there are repercussions for making mistakes with rituals, and the more dangerous the ritual, the bigger the repercussion. Here, just spawned in a bunch of mobs, which is actually kind of helpful in getting back your shadow gems that you lost, but it could be a lot worse. So the thing I was messing up on is an update at some point in Abyssalcraft made so the player performing the ritual actually needs to kill the sacrificed animal themselves. Then the ritual should complete as normal. And there it is. That fixed the problem. We now have an Oblivion catalyst. Once you've crafted your gateway key, just find any spot, and right-clicking on the ground will open a portal. This will allow you to go into the Abyssal Wasteland. You can create as many portals as you want, but don't go overboard because, obviously, it's a very quick way to make a mess. Once you think you're prepared, you can step through the portal. So, quick interruption. I hope you're enjoying the video, but I have something to say. Every day, people on YouTube come across quality YouTubers and wish they could be notified whenever that YouTuber comes out with new content. But what if I told you there was a way you could? With a subscribe button from YouTube. Not only does subscribing allow you to be informed about great new videos, it also helps out new YouTubers at no cost to you. But wait, there's more! Subscribe now, and you can be one of my first 100 subscribers. Just pay a separate $0 fee. Seriously though, if any of you could subscribe, it would help out more than you think. Now, back to the video. Welcome to the Abyssal Wasteland, the second dimension. First few things to note is that there are a lot of mobs and this is a dangerous place. Another thing is, these skeleton Goliaths are really powerful with a pretty sizable hunk of health, 100 hit points, and very damaging attacks, so this is going to be very dangerous. Now, you might notice a familiar sight. We have Shoggoths again. But this time you have no reason to antagonize them, so just stay away from them. Do not step in this liquid. It's liquid Coralium, but if you don't have the right tools, it can kill you very quickly. Here's a building to keep an eye out for. These little huts seem pretty simple, and just give you a free chest. These are some pretty nice materials, but the treasures aren't too great. However, if you break through this block right here, you can come down here and find another chest that usually has better rewards. Here we got an Abyssal Knight helmet, a golden apple, and a refined Coralium ingot. So those are only 3 items. They're all pretty high quality. There's a lot to explore, and I'll leave that to you because this is focused on progression, but if you ever do explore and get lost, all you have to do is take out your key and right-click it anywhere. You can open the portal from anywhere in the Abyssal Wasteland.
The portal, when you
and it'll pop you right back out.
It'll be back wherever you first initially opened.
In fact, it'll pop you right back at your original portal. So
your location in the overworld will not change based on where you were in the Abyssal Wasteland.
If you go into the underground mines of the Abyssal Wasteland, you should easily come across some Coralium, as it's far more common here than in the overworld. This is a good chance to get a bunch of it. It's very helpful. You also come across some other metals, such as tin and more. Tin can be used to make coins, which can be smelted for iron, or it can be used to make specific coins, but you don't need to worry about those at this point in the mod. Another ore is copper, which has, for the most part, the same use. It can be used to make coins. However, One advantage it does have, or disadvantage depending on what you need, is that both of these can be put in crystallizers to get you crystals of the type. But again, all this is for later. It's not needed to know right now. That is also something you'll run into the Abyssal Wasteland. It's basically a slightly stronger Ender Dragon. And it's actually the boss you'll have to fight to progress. However, it doesn't cause too many difficulties for you if you can just run away a bit and avoid it. As you can see, it kind of attacks me a bit, but as long as I have good armor, it doesn't seriously try to kill me. So, mostly just stay away from where it is, and you should be, for the most part, fine. Right now I have Coralium Plague, which is really doing the damage. That's the main threat of this guy, his attacks, but really just avoid him. One other unique ore you might find is liquefied Coralium. This actually has many uses, unlike the coins, or the ores that make only coins, and can be used in a variety of recipes later, including an upgraded set of armor, which you will definitely need at some point. Keep an eye out for this, and if you find it, definitely mine it. These dragons you'll find all around are pretty powerful mobs, and they can pass through blocks, so they're really irritating to fight. They afflict you with Coralium Plague as well, which is like a worse wither effect in some ways. The one thing that keeps them from being completely unbearable is they only have 30 hit points, so you can take them out very quickly with a few well-timed hits. You'll find these plants, Wasteland Thorns, and you'll also find out, once you get the next book, that these can be used to make a Coralium Plague antidote, which temporarily cures you from the Coralium Plague.
Though you shouldn't technically learn this until you get the next book.
Isn't supposed to be found out until later. You can still craft it. For those of you who want to progress in the mod, you're going to need this. The Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon. To craft this, all you need is the Necronomicon and 3 skins of the Abyssal Wasteland, which are made with Coralium Plagued Flesh and Abyssal Wasteland Essence. So you're going to need a Staff of Rending to get Abyssal Wasteland Essence, and use it on the entities there. So let's start with that, the Staff of Rending. These you could have made earlier to help with gathering Shadow Gems, but you only really need one now. It'll cost 4 Shadow Gem shards and a Shard of Oblivion. So you might have the resources left over from last time, or you might have to go back and gather it now. Once you have the Staff of Rending, right click on a mob here, and it will do half a heart of damage. So it's a really, really weak weapon. It will also slowly charge up the energy. As you see now, I have 11 Abyssal Wasteland energy. It's a bit of a grind, I suppose, but that's kind of what you gotta do here. A reason to kill Abyssal Zombies is that they'll drop this, Coralium Plagued Flesh. If you remember, you're gonna need 8 of these to make 1 skin of the Abyssal Wasteland. Since you need 3 of those, you'll need 24. These guys don't always drop them, so you're gonna have to kill quite a lot of them, and just hope to get lucky. Also, just by gathering enough essence of any mob I came across, I didn't get 100 Abyssal Wasteland energy. This Abyssal Wasteland essence showed up in my inventory. So you're going to need 3 of these, so you have to do that 3 times. But eventually, after you get finished with grinding this, you should end up with the Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon. This book will give you a lot more of the information about the Abyssal Wasteland, such as the entities there, the materials you can find, and a lot more. The main thing about this, though, is that it now shows you how to make rituals in the Abyssal Wasteland.
This will allow you to summon Asorah, the Fallen.
This ritual of the Sleeper.
To
will summon Asorah,
gods,
who is
but
a god,
this mod is
but
the first
also
boss
the first boss of this mob. So, you're going to have to set up a ritual in the Abyssal Wasteland and prepare this. Now, setting up a ritual in the Abyssal Wasteland is a little bit different from in the Overworld, but it's generally the same thing. In fact, the only difference is that you'll need Abyssal Cobblestone, opposed to regular Cobblestone, and you're going to need the Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon. Rituals will not work until you get it. All you have to do is make the same setup, and use the Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon, and shift right click. There you go. This is actually a somewhat recent change, but not too recent. I think around 1.11 or so, they made it so you had to use the Abyssal Cobblestone, opposed to regular Cobblestone. It makes sense, though, I suppose, thematically. Now, whenever you're prepared for a boss battle, just perform this ritual. While I'm back on the matter of rituals, I probably should have mentioned that there's a lot of rituals besides the ones that are necessary for progression. I'm not currently going over them, but there are plenty you can take a quick look at to grow plants, breed animals, eradicate nearby mobs with antimatter, which sometimes creates antimatter mobs. But the point is, you can do a lot of rituals. It's a very surprising amount this early in the game. And most of these can be done anywhere, not just in the Abyssal Wasteland or in the Overworld, so it's something to take a look at. That's all in the book under rituals, though, so I don't feel a need to go over it myself at the moment. For this ritual, you're going to need 4 gold, a liquid Coralium bucket, an enchantment table, and a transmutation gem. You don't need anything in the center or on this last pedestal. However, you do also need 1,000 potential energy, which is only a fraction of what this book can actually hold.
No sacrifice is required for this ritual, so whenever you feel like it, go ahead and activate it. Oh, and by the way, good luck. You might need it.